Hello and welcome. My name's Campbell. This is AutoDidactic channel. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're having a spectacular day. And of course, AutoDidactic means to be self-educated, and we all need to be self-educated, especially in these crazy times we find ourselves in, because if we're not self-educated, then the only choice we have left is to believe what other people tell us. And if we've learned anything in the last 2 years, it's that we should not just believe what other people tell us. So today I thought we would jump in and have a bit of a look at Tartaria. And this is actually a cut from a video I've made for Syncretism Society. So if you want to check them out, I'll leave a link below. Heaps of really good stuff on the Syncretism Society website. All right, so let's jump into it, guys. Okay, so to start with, we'll go to Wikipedia, and we've got Tartary. So with Tartaria, you'll find that it's sometimes called Tartary or Great Tartary, Great Tartaria. We're going to delve into what we see around us in the physical world and match that to the stories that we're given in the history books, or as I like to call it, his story. Because as we know, history is written by the victors, by the winners. Those who go in and conquer and create wars are the ones who then write the stories. And of course, they always put themselves in a good light. So the question is, how much of history is actually true? Because we don't really know. We're given all these stories, but none of it can be proved or disproven. So we are left to look around the realm, at the physical realm, and match what we see to the stories we are given. And when we do this, we find out that nothing seems to match up. The more we look into this, the more anomalies we find. Did you know there was a country called Tartaria that existed less than 200 years ago? Yet many of us, most of us, especially in the West, we were never taught about this country or its inhabitants or anything, its influence on the world. It was basically wiped from history, or the Tartarian Empire. So it's got a few names, but all around the Tartars. And of course, with the name Tartar and Tartarian, we have so many words that are based on this, like tart, tartan, tar, tartar sauce, cream of tartar. It's all through our language. And it says here, Tartary, unknown to European geographers. The active use of the toponym, or the name of Tartary, can be traced from the 13th to the 19th century in European sources. Tartary became the most common name used for Central Asia in a series of negatively coloured names that had no connection with real polities or ethnic groups of the region. So basically what they're trying to tell us is Tartary was just a region, and it was inhabited by people called the Tartars. It says down here, Tartary was not a country, but rather a European name for a region, poorly understood by Europeans, ignorance, they didn't know what was going on, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look, we got to mention, Tartary's use as a place name has spawned conspiracy theories on the internet, including ideas of a hidden past and a mud flood. Such theories contend falsely that Tartary, or Tartaria, was a lost civilization with advanced technology and culture. This ignores the well-documented history of Asia, which Tartary refers to. So what they're saying is we shouldn't look into history because it's already been written, and it's all written under the history of Asia. So let's have a look to see if this is true. And this is just a quick map just to show you this is what they're saying is the region of Tartary. But again, they're saying it's a region, it's not a country. So let's have a look at a few maps, shall we? And maps are what really sparked this research. Is we found all these maps of Tartaria, and yet when we went to the history books they said no, it never existed, but we have the maps. As you can see here, Tartaria, Magnum Chemi Imperium, so the great, I'm not sure, I can't read Latin, but Tartaria as a region. And as you'll see on a lot of these maps, these little red building type things, these represent cities. And as you'll see in other maps, there were a lot of cities in Tartaria. Here's another map. As you can see, it was a big area up here. It's now north of China. And of course we have in here the Great Wall of China. So Tartary was basically, at its biggest point, it was all of Russia, China, India, and across into Eastern Europe. It was a very large country or empire. And here's another map, Tartaria. You can see this whole region. This is China, Russia, and it's all Tartaria. Another one you can see here, this is China, and on the top we have Tartary Chinois, so Chinese Tartary. Here is another map, and as you can see up here we have, we haven't got the T, Taria Pars, which is ocean, I think, sea. The Sea of Tartar, Serpentina, or North, sorry, North Tartar. Tartaria, Magni Chemi Regni, Tartaria. Okay, and again, look, it's got defined borders, just like all the other countries. You know, there's defined borders up here, over here. So this was a country, and these are the Tartars. You know, the turbans, the flowing robe kind of look. That's Tartar. We've been sort of told now that it's Islam or you know, different cultural things. And this is what they do. They change the story, they change the cultures, and they mix everything up, mix everything together so that we don't understand who we are and where we came from. And, you know, into the research, it looks like it may have even spread across to North America. And the other thing we get is everything branded with Tartaria, which you wouldn't get for a region. This is, you know, some of the symbols. Now this is the Empire of Tartary, and you may notice this symbol, and you may know who's using it these days. Of course, we have things like the cremation of care. We have an owl like this hiding on the US dollar bill. And of course, a group of owls are called a parliament. But this is actually originally a symbol from Tartaria. And so what's happened is this isn't a bad symbol. This used to be a good symbol, but it's been stolen and inverted and turned into a symbol used by evil people. And you'll see this a lot as well as we get into this topic, is they love to get, you know, the symbols and the information from the old world and invert it and change it all. This is the double-headed eagle, which was a symbol of Tartaria as far as we can tell. And again, this has been taken and inverted by those who wish to rule us. And so this is the story, guys. Tartary, Great Tartary, Tartaria, was a great civilization less than 200 years ago, and it has been wiped from our story. As you can see in here, the monstrous Tartar, when they wiped it, they then started going around and putting out their propaganda, trying to demonize it and say that it was, you know, full of, you know, monsters, and it was a bad place, and it wasn't a country, and it was just something to be forgotten. And of course, that's what happened. It got written out of our story. And now we're in a position where we have to pay to live, the exact opposite of what the great empire of Tartaria was. History is a set of lies agreed upon. Napoleon Bonaparte.